Hello everyone, welcome to the Tomato Blues Kitchen. Today we are going to be making a very healthy breakfast recipe. This recipe uses multi dals and moringa leaves. So basically moringa leaves is nothing but drumstick leaves. These are also called as Murungakeerai in Tamil. Now this recipe is ideal for those who are suffering from complaints like hair loss and anemia. I have used raw rice in this particular recipe because brown rice did not work well when I experimented with it. I suggest that if rice doesn't work for you, then you try little millet or barnyard millet in place of raw rice. You can substitute 1 cup of raw rice with 1 cup of any millet of your choice. Now let's get on to the recipe. But before we go into the recipe, in case you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please don't forget to subscribe and also press the bell button for new recipe updates and video updates. Now let's get started with making the multi-dal Moringa Dosa recipe. For this we will first be needing to soak all the dals and get it ready. So I am adding 1/4 cup of chana dal, half a cup of tur dal, 2 tablespoons split yellow moong dal. You can also use whole green moong dal or 2 tablespoons of split green moong dal. For this, I am adding 2 tablespoons of whole white urad dal now. I'll also be adding 1 tablespoon karamani, that is red color cowpeas. Now we will be adding 2 tablespoons horse gram. This is called as kulit or kollu and it is very rich in protein. Now I'll be adding 1 tablespoon of brown chana and then 1 tablespoon of whole black urad dal. Like I said, I experimented with brown rice but it did not work well, so I am adding 2 cups of raw rice over here today. In case you are not comfortable using raw rice, please feel free to use little millet or barnyard millet. Now let's give this a good mix. The rice and the dal should be evenly distributed. Then we are going to be washing this rice and dal until the water runs clear. I basically am doing this in front of the camera for you all, but I did wash this in running water under my sink until the water ran clear. So I strongly suggest that you people do it under the sink. It's better and cleaner and quicker. So now this is how it looks after washing and draining all the water. So we are going to be basically soaking this particular mixture for like 6 to 8 hours. The soaking time for this particular recipe is long because it uses a variety of dals and so it won't be easily digestible if it is not soaked for longer. I'll be using 8 cups of water today to soak this mixture. Let it soak for like 6 to 8 hours. I recommend 8 hours but 6 hours is the minimum cutoff. So this is how it looks after 8 hours of soaking. So now let's get on to grinding this batter. For grinding this batter, I'll be using curry leaves, fresh moringa leaves, dry red chilies and ginger along with some perungayam, that is asafoetida, and salt. I have chopped a 2-inch piece ginger after peeling it. Along with it, I am adding 8 dry red chilies and roughly 1/4 cup packed curry leaves, that is like 20 to 30 curry leaves approximately. To this, I am adding 1 teaspoon of asafoetida. This is to aid better digestion. If you really like, you can also add a couple of cloves of garlic to this recipe. So now I am going to be adding a little of the soaked rice and dal mixture. The salt necessary for this recipe is also added at this point. I am adding about 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt. Now I am going to be adding roughly 60 to 70 grams of moringa leaves. It's like a cup of loosely packed moringa leaves. Basically 2 fistfuls. Again, I have washed it and cleaned it thoroughly and now I'm going to be adding it to the blender. Now we are going to close this and we are going to just pulse it for a few times so that the leaves are broken down and they can be easily ground further. We are going to grind today's batter in 3 batches. This will be my first batch. I'm adding 3/4 cup to 1 cup of water now, and I'm adding half of the remaining soaked mixture at this point. The reason why we are going to be grinding the batter in batches is because we are using a blender, and if you add it all together and grind it, one, it will not grind smoothly, and two, there's a good chance your blender may break. So now we'll be grinding this to a smooth paste, scraping down the sides in between while you grind. This is how it looks after you grind the first batch of the batter. Now we will transfer this to a container. To this same blender, I'm using the remaining mixture. I've divided the remaining mixture into half, and I'm using 1/2 of it along with 3/4 cup of water. So again, we will be grinding this to a smooth paste, and we will be adding the second batch of batter to the previously ground first batch. So I've just combined it. Now let's get on to grinding the last remaining batch of the soaked rice and dal. So basically I'm again using 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of water. The process remains the same. Add water and grind it to a smooth paste. Now I'm transferring this last batch of ground paste into a wide mixing bowl. This is how the last batch looks. The pale green shade has disappeared completely. Now we will be adding the first 2 batches of batter. So what I recommend is, whenever you mix any kind of idli or dosa batter, do the mixing with your hands, because they say, 1, the mixing is more even, and 2, the good bacteria in your hands help fermentation. Today's dosa does not require any fermentation. We are going to do it instantly, but still it's always a good thing to use your hands. But make sure that you thoroughly wash your hands before using them to do anything of this sort in your kitchen. So now this is how the batter looks like. You can see that it's not too smooth or not too grainy. I'm going to be making the dosa in an iron dosa pan today. I've heated it up, and I'm adding a ladle of batter, and I'm going to spread it into a dosa that is slightly thicker than the regular dosa. If you find that you cannot spread the batter easily, then I suggest that you dilute the batter using 2 to 3 tablespoons of water for every cup of dosa batter. So now this is how it looks after spreading it. We are now going to drizzle coconut oil around the edges. I recommend like 2 to 3 teaspoons of coconut oil for every dosa, otherwise it's going to be very dry. Also, please do not use more moringa leaves than mentioned, because moringa leaves have this tendency to become gloopy when ground. So kindly differ from using more moringa leaves than mentioned. So after cooking for 30 to 45 seconds, the dosa is ready to flip. Again, I've used medium flame to cook the dosa. And now the dosa has been flipped. We are going to follow the same procedure, 30 to 40 seconds on medium flame. Now again, give it a good flip, and then I'm going to be sprinkling 2 tablespoons of finely chopped onions to this. This is optional but highly recommended. Now fold over the dosa, and the multi-dal Moringa Dosa, that is the multi-dal Murungakeerai Dosa, is ready to serve. This tastes very good with your regular coconut chutney or your tomato chutney. Today I'm going to be serving it up with some creamy coconut chutney. So friends, please do try this recipe, and in case you do try it, leave a feedback, share a picture with us on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to share it. Thank you for watching, friends. We'll be back again with another recipe. Stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe.